Hello, Diagnostic Takeover community. Wanted to give you a short update on what's going on here with me, and things are getting serious. So we're in August now, and we're heading closer and closer to autumn, where I think we're gonna see a crescendo, and things could go anywhere from this point. So yesterday I had bailiffs show up at the address where I'm registered. Okay, so they're clamping down on activists here in Austria, as was also said so at the end of May by the Interior Minister with the name of Niehammer, Karl Niehammer. And they're going for people who've opened up their mouths and who dared to speak out for a whole year. So we did, as the organizers of the Festival for Freedom at the main square in Linz, and now they're coming after us, and it looks like I'm being taken care of, being protected and guided by the force of the one and only source, the powers of the earth, the ancestors and the allies of the evolutionary force. And so, it's catch me if you can right now. However, they have already shown up at the door of my parents, and they're putting pressure on me, and that is a sort of a signal to me that things are getting serious right now. And yeah, that's what you get as a reward for speaking out. That's what you get as a reward for standing up for freedom and not being able to just take things as they are right now, and speak your truth and stand up for the human family. That's what you get. You get harassed, and the mafia shows up directly at your doorstep, because this is what this government structure is. They should be, in the way it's set up, okay, in a system, the government should be running infrastructure. And I wouldn't even call it government, I would call it some other name, because as we know, government means mind control. And within a system, alright, where we build up infrastructure and we make contracts and we ensure things, it would be the organizational element of creation. However, what we've got here is that the public sphere is paying government taxation in this country, very high taxation rates in Austria, and what we get is tyranny. So there's something wrong here, isn't there? And I've not been getting any government money since a year, because I deregistered myself a year ago. The last time I got money was in July 2020, and now I'm just living by free donations by the people that support my work, which unfortunately is also going down. My Patreon supporters is completely down. I've lost, ever since I split up with Errol, I've lost a lot of Patreon supporters, and that's fine. I want to thank everyone who's participated in that, and I'll just keep going anyways. And I don't know what the future holds. All I do is every day I get out into nature. I do my high commands to anchor my sovereignty and to connect with the forces of nature and the force of the evolution. and to anchor myself in my being. And this is all not easy for me also. Was quite a shock to hear that yesterday. But that's what you get in fascism, okay? The people enforcing fascism are the ones that still have a paycheck. And what sort of a being must you be in order to be a bailiff, okay, and work directly for the mafia? Oh, you're not paying these fines because you're not committing self-harm, and you choose in your free will to not wear a face covering, okay? You're not self-harming, therefore we fine you, and if you don't pay those fines, which are completely outside of any law, it's just criminal law, where criminals impose their will and their rules. That's why they call it rules. It's not law at all. It's not insured. And as no one takes responsibility for my health, when something happens to me, no one's privately liable. No one enforcing this. No one commanding these orders. No one obeying these orders and enforcing these orders will ever take any responsibility to what happens to my health. And I also would like to see that piece of paper where I, with my signature as a contract, gave full responsibility of my health, that is my property, to anyone outside of me. I would like to see that manifest. It doesn't exist, and the people just follow orders in this hierarchical pyramid. And I don't know what they think. They still got their jobs, you see. And conscience and heart has been completely deleted in this society. That's why most people die with heart failure or cancer. And although I'm not a doctor, I can say that most, if not all, of diseases are a dis-ease in the harmonic flow of energy through the meridian lines, and they're all based on emotional trauma. All cause of disease is trauma-based mind control, which is not put into balance. And those system servers, no, system within a system servers, because we're not living in a system. Fascism is never a system. It's a system within a system, as I have explained in my previous videos, the difference of that. And they just follow along their orders and hope. They themselves, a lot of those people, also the vaccinated people, they hope that things get better someday, that the government is gonna solve this corona crisis, and that they don't have to enforce these harmful orders where they threaten people at their doorstep. Okay, they threatened my parents that if he doesn't pay up for not wearing a face covering, if he doesn't pay up, we're gonna get the police. And if my parents don't tell them where I am, then they can be implicated in this crime also of not wearing a face covering. And all these shitheads, okay, these immoral beings, they just hope that things will get better by someone miraculously showing up. The government easing restrictions. They bought into that narrative. However, I have a different narrative. I have a different worldview, and I'm allowed to have that. However, there's consequences to choosing freedom, and you have to face whatever comes up and deal with that. And that is sometimes you get phases like I am in right now, where I'm quite down, and what basically happens is that there's still something trapped inside of me which goes into resonance with, how should I say, this archontic, demonic frequency spectrum of low vibrational emotion. There's still low vibrational emotion trapped within my body that comes to the surface when I hear things like that. When I hear that my parents are threatened and I'm being portrayed like a criminal who's not paying up. Well, I'm not taking any money from you, dear government. I don't want any money from criminals. Okay, so my slate basically is clean. However, you want money from me for not self-harming. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, the state we're in right now. And that's why I wanted to take this time to make this video, to clear this off my mind and just explain to you what's going on with me, if you are interested in that. What happens, as I said, I go through difficult times also, and I'm ready to share that with my community also. So in times of these difficulties, we choose, okay? It's trapped emotions deep in the subconscious, okay? Because we've all gone through a life of traumatization, of growing up and interacting with a traumatized society that has been traumatized for many generations. And that deep trauma is coming to the surface now. And that's where you feel like, for me, for example, I feel disempowered. I feel motivationless. And I feel like everything I've ever done is for nothing. And now I'm just gonna end up in prison because I spoke up for the human family. That's how I feel. Well, yeah, very down and depressed. Not knowing what to do next. What is the future gonna hold? I'd like to use my time for different things, study Gnosticism, study the nature of reality, which I'm still doing, but now I'm having to, a lot of my mind space is I'm being forced to look at these finds. I don't know what's going to happen with me. All I ever tried was to give my best for a better future, and now I'm faced with this challenge, and I don't know if I've got it to properly solve this. They're clamping down on everyone here in Austria. No, you spoke out, oh, you're a bad boy, now you must be punished. So I'm speaking all of this to get this off my chest. It's quite a lot of frustration. These fascists who think they can run other people's lives because they hate themselves. They hate themselves. Okay? That's why they want to impose all of this on all of us. Because they hate themselves. That's why they don't care what they do to other people. And to keep this and to really see in the right light of what it is, we need to learn how to stand up for ourselves. Okay, and that's what I think this signal, okay, that's what I call it. It's a signal that they show up at my door for me to get going. So we'll organize a public event, a press conference, where we talk about this imposed fascism. This is not about health, has never had anything to do with health. And if you still think this has anything to do with a virus, then you're full of shit. You just do not have the mental capacity. You've failed the test miserably and you've already got the vax. So what's the point? So we're gonna organize a press conference. Gonna inform all the parties that everyone's going to be held privately liable. When they come and arrest people, I'm going to write to the Interior Minister, Mr. Nihama also, how much my life force energy costs for a minute or an hour. Him privately, as a man, I'm going to write to him. This is how I deal with this. I notify before the press conference. And it has something to do with 369 million a minute or an hour. Let's see. My life force energy is worth a lot. I want to be doing my job also. So what I think this is all about, okay, this is where we get into solution. And I'm already feeling better talking about this. It's like my energy is also changing inside. So when I was talking about the facing the possibility of being arrested, okay, and thrown into a prison cell, that made me quite dense. So now I'm rising out of that. The denseness of emotional traps, going into resonance with the archontic frequency spectrum, the low vibrational spectrum. That keeps us trapped. We go into resonance with it because we still have that trauma in us. Okay, and times like this is what healing looks like, that the trauma comes up and we purify it, because we're much more. We're infinite beings. We can connect to the full nature of our being by facing what we're presented with. And I just want to share this video so that for you to see that I don't always do videos only when I'm in a good state, but also when I don't feel so right. And yes, I have the intelligence to face this. I have lots and lots of truth-based information that I can put to use, and I can deal with this situation. But sometimes in a situation like now, I feel overwhelmed also. And I hope you get something from this video, that to see that people like me who are speaking up also have difficult times. We also have upswings and downswings, and we're normal, we are individual human beings. We are unique expressions, but also human beings, just like you watching this. Okay, so we go through this too, and this is what it takes. We need to show what humanity is all about and stand up for our people, stand up for our expression. Like, freedom is not just given to you, okay? I can say I'm free and I was born free. However, we've got these layers of emotions, of trauma-based emotions, that come up when confronted with authority, people that want to impose their will on you, and they show up, and that's when they can be dealt with and healed. And in between, we can also feel weak. However, it's important to get up again and look, what is the solution? So why we're facing this, and why I'm facing this right now, and this is the reason why I'm doing this video, is because the answer to all of this is that men need to become men again, and women need to become women again. And in the case of me as a man, I need to learn how to deal with these situations, and not like they programmed us to sulk and bow down to authority. Then we don't get the lesson. Okay, we need to face this confrontation and do it honorably. Speak your truth, write your truth, express your law. Remember that you are always free. However, you need to always keep up that level of freedom through right action. Do the right action without falling into the emotion. Okay? Transform the emotion before you do any action. And as you're doing the action, the emotion comes up, transform it. But do not, when you're encountering people from the system, when you're writing to them, when you're talking to them. Do not fall into the emotion trap. Stick with principles, and I'll be getting much more into this in other videos from here on. And that's what we've faced. The reason why we're in this world crisis is because most of the human family, the overwhelming majority, through generations of programming, are in a state of children. And you've got father state and mother church doing what they want with us. And this is all always a chance for evolution. This is all always a chance so the men and the women of this world show up and express their true humanity, express who we truly are. And when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and we need to find the resources to go deep into ourselves and to bring forth the true essence of what humanity is. And this is what the Archontic Force is here for. The Archontic Force, these demons, okay, which I also despise like nothing. However, they are a way for the universe to test us. So you don't have to get the test, okay, up your nostril when you have the test in real life. You see how this works? And what they call the coronavirus is the awakening. That's what they want to get rid of. That's why it won't ever end. And that's why the authorities, for example, in Iceland are talking about 15 years of these measures continuing. 15 years, oh, you already know how this is. Yeah, they know how it continues, because what they mean with coronavirus is the awakening. You're the virus that will take down the system, because the system is an imposed illusion. And when that mental pattern of that system is transformed and deleted, and the truth, the light of the truth shines into your consciousness, and you get that signal, that's what they fear. And that's what they call the coronavirus. And that's why they don't show any proof of anything, because how do you want to prove the awakening? They can't talk about this in the open. But that's what they really mean. The coronavirus is the awakening. Oh, and by the way, my YouTube channel is also striked again, so I'm looking to do more on BitChute again now. I'm uploading this video also on BitChute. And yeah, just wanted to give you a short update. Things are not rosy here. And these are the times where we show what we're made up of, okay? And we inspire each other and speak openly with each other, honestly. I'm not going to share absolutely everything about my life here, but I'm going to share when I don't feel so good and when I'm not on top of my game, to make you realize that we're all going through these difficult times. And the reason we're going through these difficult times are what happened in the past to us. We would not be in the state that we're in if there weren't energies trapped within us. This is what the Archontic invasion does, in whatever form. The imposition of masks, the imposition of all these measures, all these tyrannical rules, they're here to get us into our power. Okay, and to say no. And to not bow down to it, to not break down psychologically. The reason why we don't feel right with this situation is because we still go into resonance with those attacks. If we were truly free and sovereign, those wouldn't be anything, okay? Then what do we fear? What is the basis of fear? Is that which we do not know, the unknown. And that's what we need to face now. There's nothing to fear. And fear makes us go outside of our comfort zone. So let's become friends with fear and see that it's only a test for us to become the true beings that we want to be in our full power. And that's the test we have on our hands right now. Okay, so all the very best to you. Much love. Bye bye.